Hey there, how's it going? Hope you are well. It's another beautiful day here today, and we are here to do the Course in Miracles lessons. And the lesson for today is lesson 186. So let's get right on it. Salvation of the world depends on me. Salvation of the world depends on me. Here is the statement that will one day take all arrogance away from every mind. Here is the thought of true humility, which holds no function as your own, but that which has been given you. It offers your acceptance of a part assigned to you, without insisting on another role. It does not judge your proper role. It but acknowledges the will of God is done on earth as well as heaven. It unites all wills on earth in heaven's plan to save the world, restoring it to heaven's peace. Let us not fight our function. We did not establish it. It is not our idea. The means are given us by which it will be perfectly accomplished. All that we are asked to do is to accept our part in genuine humility and not deny with self-deceiving arrogance that we are worthy. What is given us to do, we have the strength to do. Our minds are suited perfectly to take the part assigned to us by one who knows us well. Today's idea may seem quite sobering until you see its meaning. All it says is that your Father still remembers you and offers you the perfect trust he holds in you, who are his Son. It does not ask that you be different in any way from what you are. What could humility request but this? And what could arrogance deny but this? Today we will not shrink from our assignment on this spacious grounds that modesty is outraged. It is pride that would deny the call for God himself. All false humility we lay aside today, that we may listen to God's voice reveal to us what he would have us do. We do not doubt our adequacy for the function he will offer us. We will be certain only that he knows our strengths, our wisdom, and our holiness. And if he deems us worthy, so we are. It is but arrogance that judges otherwise. There is one way, and only one, to be released from the imprisonment your plan to prove the false is true has brought to you. Accept the plan you did not make instead. Judge not your value to it. If God's voice assures you that salvation needs your part, and that the whole depends on you, be sure that it is so. The arrogant must cling to words, afraid to go beyond them to experience which might confront their stance. Yet are the humble free to hear the voice which tells them what they are and what to do. Arrogance makes an image of yourself that is not real. It is this image which quails and retreats in terror, as the voice for God assures you that you have the strength, the wisdom, and the holiness to go beyond all images. You are not weak, as is the image of yourself. You are not ignorant and helpless. Sin cannot tarnish the truth in you, and misery can come not near the holy home of God. All this the voice of God relates to you, and as he speaks, the image trembles and seeks to attack the threat it does not know, sensing its basis crumble. Let it go. Salvation of the world depends on you, and not upon this little pile of dust. What can it tell the Holy Son of God? Why need he be concerned with it at all? And so we find our peace. We will accept the function God has given us, for all illusions rest upon the weird belief that we can make another for ourselves. Our self-made roles are shifting, and they seem to change from mourner to ecstatic bliss of loving and love. We can laugh or weep, and greet the day with welcome or with tears. Our very being seems to change as we experience 1,000 shifts in mood, and our emotions raise us high indeed, or dash us to the ground in hopelessness. Is this the Son of God? Could he create such instability and call it Son? He who is changeless shares his attributes and his creation. All the images his Son appears to make have no effect on what he is. They blow across his mind like wind-swept leaves that form a pattern and an instant later break apart to group again and scamper off, or like mirages seen above a desert rising from the dust. These unsubstantial images will go and leave your mind unclouded and serene when you accept the function given you. The images you make give rise to but conflicting goals, impermanent and vague, uncertain and ambiguous. Who could be constant in his efforts or direct his energies and concentrated drive towards goals like these? The functions which the world esteems are so uncertain that they change 10 times an hour at their most secure. What hope or gain can rest on goals like this? In lovely contrast, certain as the sun's returns each morning to dispel the night, your truly given function stands out clear and wholly unambiguous. There is no doubt of its validity. It comes from one who knows no error, and his voice is certain of its messages. They will not change, nor be in conflict. All of them point to one goal, and one you can attain. Your plan may be impossible, but God's can never fail because He is its source. Do as God's voice directs, and if it asks a thing of you which seems impossible, remember who it is that asks, and who would make denial. Then consider this: which is more likely to be right? The voice that speaks for the Creator of all things, who knows all things exactly as they are, or a distorted image of yourself, confused, bewildered, inconsistent, and insecure of everything? Let not its voice direct you. Hear instead a certain voice, which tells you of a function given you by your Creator, who remembers you and urges that you remember Him. His gentle voice is calling from the known to the unknowing. He would comfort you, although He knows no sorrow. He would make a restitution though He is complete, a gift to you, although He knows that you have everything already. He has thoughts which answer every need His Son perceives, although He sees them not. For love must give, and what is given is in His name takes on the form most useful in a world of form. These are the forms which never can deceive, because they come from the formlessness itself. Forgiveness is an earthly form of love, which as it is in heaven has no form. Yet what is needed here is given here as it is needed. In this form you can fulfill your function even here, although what love will mean to you when forgiveness has been restored to you is greater still. Salvation of the world depends on you who can forgive. Such is your function here. Wow. Very powerful. Salvation of the world depends on me. That is a big responsibility. Salvation of the world depends on you, depends on me, depends on us. What does that mean? That means that we have to switch how we see things. We have to live a different life. We have to let God guide us. Let God instruct us on what it is that we should be doing. When we try to control our experience, when we try to say, this is the thing that I should be doing, when we don't listen to God and make our own minds up through our ego or through what other people tell us to do, then we are misguided, and we're gonna go down the same road every time, which is a road that we all already know, which usually leads to some kind of ending, some kind of sorrow, some kind of sadness, some kind of loss, because it's not guided by the one who should be guiding us, which is God. We need to learn to listen. We need to learn to hear His voice and understand the messages that He's giving us on what it is that we are to do with our lives, because His plan, His will, can only lead to one thing. What is that? That's the unification of us all. That's a remembrance of Him, a remembrance of ourselves, and a remembrance of that we are one, and we are together in this, and that we can only go out back to our true selves together. And until we make that choice, until we consciously make that effort to remember, we're gonna stay in this never-ending cycle of loss and ending and sadness and not being happy. So what the lesson is trying to tell us today is that you got to take, let me see where it said it. I liked what it said at the end, very end. Salvation of the world depends on you who can forgive. So we're going back to the beginning lessons where it explained what our function was. Our function is forgiveness. And also in this lesson it says forgiveness is another form of love. So our function is forgiveness. And when we talk about forgiveness, we're talking about forgiving our brothers and sisters, but also forgiving ourselves. And forgiving ourselves not for what we've done in the illusion or in the human experience, but more so forgiving ourselves for believing that we are something that we're not. For believing that we are humans that can die, that experience loss, that experience sadness, that experience hatred, that experience attack. We are not that. We are spiritual beings, whole and complete, peaceful, joyful, happy, always loved by our Creator and by ourselves. And we should only but love everyone else that we come in contact with. And we should all remember that we are one. And that is what the lesson is trying to tell us today. We are responsible. It is our responsibility. We are, as the lesson says today, salvation depends on me. Salvation of the world depends on me. Salvation of the world depends on you. So take that on, own it, be responsible, make the right choices, treat others the way they should be treated, which is knowing full well who they are. They are spiritual beings just like you, sons and daughters of God just like you, filled with love, happy, joyful, ever peaceful. Treat them as such. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the lesson for today. I know that I will have to reflect on it throughout the day, and I hope you are spending time with those you love. I hope that you are making the best of the beautiful day that God has given you, and I hope you really take the time to think about this lesson, and when you come in contact with another individual, you remember it. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.